We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marques. And speaking of The Lot, we were invited to a party on the set of The Neighborhood, which films right next door to us. I was there as Cedric the Entertainer and his co-stars celebrated a huge milestone and got some exciting news.
We are officially picking up season 6 today.
The cast of The Neighborhood toasted the good news of a 6th season and 100 episodes with a doppelganger cake.
I can just see the Amazon truck pulling up to my house now. My wife probably got this call before I did somehow.
And Tashina's dog stole the show with its cuteness on center stage.
She's the actress with the little dog, you know?
I am.
Yep, I am too, though. I have a little dog,
Betty,
too.
little Betty.
We're those people now. This is what happens after 100 episodes. You get little dogs.
All joking aside, Cedric the Entertainer, who stars, is also an executive producer of the show and got emotional about the supportive team they've built.
It's just really special to be in this environment, and to hear other people talk about it. I hadn't been really emotional about it the whole time, but David and Amy talking about this show actually, had me in my feelings over there. So I was trying to be hard,
What are you guys doing? I thought you were setting up for the party.
We came to get these. Yep.
And what this team does best is make you laugh, and they do it both in front of and behind the scenes.
Tashina has a 200-square-foot dressing room with a spiral staircase, walk-in closet.
Full office.
I have no idea how she gets all this stuff in her dressing room.
Tashina's going to buy a brand new fax machine.
Yeah. It's not doing anything. It's the truth.
Well, I have to confess, he was trash talking you about how excessive your dressing room is.
So everybody comes to my dressing room,
I was going to say, I come to her dressing room. She's got a microwave. She has got a fax machine.
I got a fax machine.
No joke.
So that wasn't a lie. I thought they were joking.
No. I have a full bar in my room.
Oh, yeah, she's the dressing room to go to. I only go to her dressing room.
They talk about Cedric being kind of like the father or the glue holding it together. Is that real or is that a lie?
100%.
This show would not be what it is without Cedric.
Cedric set the tone from day one. He's the most kind, generous, loving. You can't get a better person to lead a show than him. And it starts at the top.
It's the kind, polite Canadian spirit that Cedric tries to bring to this set. It was
Canada.
It was a motto that he goes, I'm not, this is what he said the first time we met him. He said, I'm not from Canada, but that's how I want the vibe. I want the vibe to be very Canadian.
And The Neighborhood is among the top 5 most watched comedies on TV. It's number 3 after Young Sheldon and Ghosts. The 3rd and final season of Star Trek Picard is now streaming on Paramount+. Fans are in for a big thrill as Jean-Luc Picard is reunited with familiar faces from the USS Enterprise 36 years after Star Trek The Next Generation first premiered.
Admiral on the bridge and Captain on the bridge.
Members of the crew of Star Trek The Next Generation and other Trek adventures are reunited for the 3rd and final season of Star Trek Picard.
Jean-Luc, trust no one.
The most satisfying feature of it was that CBS and Paramount Plus and producers and writers, they emphasized that years have passed. The world has changed. We have changed. So has Star Trek.
Time had passed. Her hair is gray, but it was so wonderful to have a great story to sink my teeth into.
This is the end, my friend.
I was reminded of how many scenes I played with Patrick in the Ready Room or Patrick, where I looked at, and he's a master, right? He's one of our finest actors. I'm a good actor, but I always felt so safe with him.
I love the work, but when they told me that, when I realized makeup again, that was the challenge. That was the challenge.
I never expected this to happen. Did not think this day would come. In fact, was pretty sure that it would not.
The original series had their tremendous send-off in Undiscovered Country, Star Trek VI, and it felt like the Next Gen crew really needed that as well.
I need you. All of you.
We're with you. Always.
Engage.
Hey, Ted Lasso fans, grab your shortbread biscuits and lace up your football boots because this March, we're going back to the pitch in Richmond. Apple TV Plus debuted a teaser for season 3 of the series with some of your favorite characters putting their own spin on Ted Lasso's iconic Believe sign. Ted Lasso stars Jason Sudeikis as an American coach of a British soccer team. The critically acclaimed series has won multiple awards, including an Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series and lead actor for Sudeikis. New episodes return March 15th. And speaking of Ted Lasso, the show's co-creator Bill Lawrence brings us another binge-worthy show available to watch right now called Shrinking, also on Apple Plus. Star and writer of Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy Kent on the show, is also on board as co-creator. Now get in the car.
Can we play that song I like?
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed.
How do you get Harrison Ford to come on your show? Because he really can say no to anything these days.
He's my stepfather. Nah, he's.
Oh, there we go.
He's not. By the way, it would be.
Wouldn't that be amazing, though?
I know, right? I tricked him. Is that possible? He thinks that I'm Matthew Perry and that we're working together. No, look, Harrison, I know him a little bit. And the most interesting thing about him is that my advice to people would be to ask him, because the dude's 80 years old and still looking for challenges, And I said, hey, you want to come do, streaming comedy and be funny and also have Parkinson's and play an old guy, And he was game. We had to. I had to explain to him what I did for a living. And then and then I said, you got to meet with Jason Segel. And he's like, who's Jason Segel?
Okay, so Harrison Ford didn't know who Jason Segel was, but in the new streaming comedy Shrinking, Jason Segel is the star, writer, and executive producer. Ford plays his boss, and Segel is a grieving psychiatrist trying to navigate his own mental health issues while trying to treat patients at the same time.
When you find me at the beginning of the series, I am truly at rock bottom. And my parenting dynamic with my daughter is flipped, and she is taking care of me. And part of the show is about writing that relationship and reestablishing myself as an adequate and capable and present father figure.
You're just gonna burn down your career and take me with you.
Coin flip?
Get out of here.
Wait, this is my office.
It took you longer than it should have.
Let's talk about how important and timely and wonderful this show can be for so many of us.
We were talking about it like that mental health certainly appears to be a lot less stigmatized than it was. And the conversation is a lot more in the mainstream, which is very important. And we're all huge fans of therapy and believe in it and think everyone who has access to it should use it.
I feel like dealing with the most hard issues with humor is how we get through some of our darkest moments.
Absolutely. And it actually reflects life in a way that is super realistic, I think, in terms of, because like that's the way life is. Like sometimes in the darkest moments, there is a lot of laughter, thank goodness. And so hopefully it reflects the way things really are. It doesn't just seem like we're, forcing the issue comedy wise. It's kind of organic to this whole idea of the process of grief and getting through it.
What's on your mind today?
Like I want to change, but I'm not particularly open to make those changes.
I'm trying.
Every time I get rid of one compulsion, another compulsion comes up.
Are you yawning right now? Spoiler alert, I feel like I'm stuck.
Clearly that shrink needs a shrink. When we come back, a new character is revealed in the latest Little Mermaid trailer, and we take you to the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania premiere. We've seen glimpses of Halle Bailey as the new Little Mermaid, but now we're getting a peek at Ursula in Disney's upcoming live-action film.
Wish I could breathe.
Disney released a teaser featuring Halle Bailey as Ariel, Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric, and more of Ariel's underwater world. The teaser also gives us a quick glimpse at Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. There she was. The live-action Little Mermaid will be a reimagined version of the animated classic from 1989. The Little Mermaid hits theaters May 26th. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the latest chapter in the Marvel Universe, is in theaters now. And Entertainment Tonight's Nichelle Turner was with Paul Rudd and the rest of the cast and joins us now with the story. Nichelle.
Hey, Suzanne, Quantumania kicks off the 5th phase of the MCU. That means a new villain, and everybody was raving about Jonathan Majors' Big Bad Kang.
So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
What makes Kang the Conqueror iconic?
You thought you could win.
You know, Kang is a conqueror, so it's pretty cool to see. Jonathan is one of those actors, and you see his performance. He's I can't imagine anybody else doing that because he has such gravitas and power.
I think that Jonathan is major.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Oh, you never heard that before.
That's the first one. Whoa. No, it's crazy.
In Quantumania, Kang is trapped in the quantum realm, so he convinces Ant-Man to bust him out. Evangeline Lilly, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Michael Douglas also return to join the fight. What's your favorite part about bringing Hank back?
It's just that it's a comfortability of knowing each other. You don't have to start a new protocol. You just, you know each other, and it's very comfortable. And then you never know what Quantumania is going to bring you.
One thing it won't bring you, Paul Rudd's abs. What's up with cutting shirtless scenes out the movie? How are they going to do that to the sexiest man alive?
I'm all for efficiency and making a movie as short as it can possibly be. So anytime you cut anything, I'm okay with it.
But you worked hard.
I worked harder than I've ever worked just to look
And of course, we'll have so much more on the next Entertainment Tonight. I'm Nichelle Turner.
Thanks, Nichelle. Now to someone who has had a major impact on the Marvel Universe, the man behind Iron Man. Filmmaker Jon Favreau just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And wait until you see what his partner in crime did right after it was unveiled.
Hold on, just to make it official.
Amid the pomp and circumstance, Iron Man himself, Robert Downey Jr., plucked the gum out of his mouth to mark Jon Favreau's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Favreau directed Downey Jr. in the 2008 Marvel superhero smash Iron Man, which would lead to 2 sequels and the expansion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Iron Man was a second-tier superhero property that had no shot at affording Kevin Feige the opportunity to launch a cinematic universe because there was no such thing as a cinematic universe. And now, I would never insinuate that it was me who made John a multi-hyphenate international sensation because I have to leave something for his speech. And there's nothing more awkward for my friend that we are here to celebrate and honor than being honored and celebrated.
Chef Roy Choi mentored Favreau to prepare for his movie Chef, which he would direct and star in.
John doesn't know this, but back in culinary school in my dorm room in upstate New York, I had 2 VHS tapes that were on rotation. They were Selena and Swingers. I never had the premonition that I'd meet J-Lo, but I knew I'd meet John one day. It was weird and powerful, but I put it away for over a decade and a half in that place where we put things away in our minds, and I just went on with my life. Then the universe started tingling. First, he had Kogi tacos at Iron Man 2, thanks to Gwyneth Paltrow. Then the blind date, which was just supposed to be a consulting job, where I was going to be in and out after a couple weeks, teaching him how to cook, but that night turned into a decades-long friendship and more. Through the filming of Chef the movie and Chef the TV series, I had a front seat to truly see why John is loved by so many. He cares about us. He cares about all the textures of the art, like a stitching no one sees on a coat, but without it, it wouldn't be the same.
Favreau, who is preparing for the 3rd season premiere of his hit Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, said he was honored to be part of the fabric of Hollywood storytellers.
I used to live a few blocks away and walk down here for the parade at Christmas time. We have so many fond memories in this theater, the El Capitan, with Iron Man, the Avengers movies, Jungle Book, Lion King, Mandalorian premieres.
And to be part of this fabric is really the honor. Even people our age don't recognize most of the names here, and our grandchildren won't even recognize the icons in the middle, what a record is or a film reel. But there's a network of storytellers, and technologies will come and emerge and replace the ones that we know. But the tradition of Hollywood is that it attracts people who want to tell stories.
Justin Hartley is playing against type in his latest role. The This Is Us star is the bad guy in a new dark comedy and revenge thriller, A Lot of Nothing.
Per usual, you killed it because you're a baller.
A Lot of Nothing tackles a sensitive and relevant topic, police killings of unarmed victims in the Black community.
You're one of the good ones, brother.
The film follows James and Vanessa, a wealthy Black couple who learn their white neighbor, played by Justin Hartley, is a police officer who just killed a child.
You know, you don't want this to be a caricature and somebody. You want the audience to not appreciate the things that he's doing, but also maybe feel sorry for someone who might have gone through something in his life that makes him positions his life where it is now, which is sort of sad. And so you just try to do the best you can with the backstory and talking to Mo, and it was a pleasure. It was a really wonderful experience. I loved it.
Cleopatra Coleman plays Vanessa, who performs her own twisted citizen's arrest. They filmed in 2020 when Black Lives Matter protests swept the country during the middle of a pandemic.
That was a very traumatic year for, I think, our generation collectively, experiencing, honestly, modern day civil war, and having to go to work. And I was pregnant with my son at the time. And so the weight of the world, the environment, holding a Black baby inside of me, and these themes we're discussing and talking about. And it was very, very hard. It definitely wasn't easy. It definitely was something that I had to kind of log out a few times in my spare time at home. Is just log out, try to not look at the news, try to not be at the protests, try to not do all those things, just to protect my peace, because I didn't want that to translate into this unborn child.
We are live on the scene of yet another officer-involved shooting. That man has been identified as Officer Ryan Stanley.
The reporter in the movie is our station's Joy Benedict, who covered the protests over police brutality at the time. It's Mo McRae's directorial debut.
We shot like 11, 12 pages in one day. And at the end of that day, we made the day on time, amazing performances, beautiful photography. I go in with the intentions to just thank them for all they had given and for trusting me, and just exploded into tears. Just go in and just break into tears.
You just living under the white man's thumb.
Not always.
You're one of the good ones, brother.
Ooh, those microaggressions. When we come back, meet Billboard's Woman of the Year. Billboard just announced SZA is 2023's Woman of the Year, and her Quentin Tarantino-inspired vengeful but beautiful song Kill Bill was her first #1 hit on the Billboard Global 200 chart. SZA is making her mark in music and is now being honored as Billboard's Woman of the Year. According to the publication's editorial director, Hannah Karp, SZA has defied genres and continually released raw, powerful songs which have landed her music on the Billboard charts. SZA has 2 studio albums that have left listeners craving more. Her latest album release, SOS, is no different. SZA has you feeling every raw and vulnerable emotion. Even songs that aren't even on her albums make it huge across social media platforms. Her SNL skit had everyone on TikTok creating their own rendition of the song. Her ability to move people shows everyone exactly why she deserves this year's Woman of the Year title. The ceremony will happen March 1st at the YouTube Theater at Hollywood Park in LA. And just to show you she is all gas and no brakes, SZA just did a remix to Lizzo's song, Special. I don't hide my heart, I will This woman is go, 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 and because of that, this award is well earned.
In case nobody told you today, you're special.
Now to country. Singer-songwriter Elle King is out with her very first country album and recently moved to Nashville. CBS Morning's Jan Crawford met up with her.
I got lucky.
Lucky defines Elle King's life in more ways than one.
Like me, who don't deserve one damn thing.
It's the name of a song on her new album, and it's the name of her son.
He's my greatest inspiration, and something happened when he came into this world that I was like, I'm getting out of the way. Sure, I'll do it. I'll try that. Great. When we make a country album, great.
After years of struggling, substance abuse, a failed marriage, and miscarriages,
I don't know what I'm going for, but
okay, that's not bad. King has come out on the other side and is finding a home in country music.
I wouldn't change anything. Like, everything happens for a reason, even sometimes the hard things.
It puts you on the path to where you are today.
Yeah.
Betty's thinking that I'm crying, couldn't be more wrong.
Come Get Your Wife is King's third studio album, but it's her first record that's entirely country.
Come Get Your Wife, where does that come from?
I was drinking one night, and I was making jokes, as I usually do, but it didn't warrant someone to shout over me and shout to my partner, come get your wife.
But instead of talking to you, they're talking to the guy.
Yeah, it's like someone shouted over me, like I was like someone could come put me in my place, which is like, you must be out of your mind.
No one has ever been able to control King, and that's part of her charm.
I started getting kicked out of clubs and schools when I was in second grade, and then we moved to New York.
Why was that?
I think I was labeled as like a problem child, but I'm very outspoken and.
You are?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could put that back in my mouth. But I wouldn't change anything.
Well, she was an American girl.
Born in L.A., King grew up far from the glitz and glam of Hollywood, which may surprise those who know her parents, former model London King and comedian Rob Schneider. King's parents divorced when she was less than a year old.
You decided not to go by your dad's last name. Why was that?
You know, at the time, I felt more connected to my mom's side of the family there, who I grew up with. Probably stick it to him.
Why? Because he wasn't around that much, or?
Yeah, he was just. I now understand as a working mother in the entertainment industry, like becoming a mother, I have gained a lot of empathy for so many things. My dad was really busy a lot, and I don't knock him for it. Me and my dad have a great relationship now.
From a viral golden retriever to an American Psycho throwback with Christian Bale, here are your TikToks of the week.
Mi abuelita was like, ¿saben qué? Vámonos al mercado. And I was like, what is a mercado? Anyway, it's like a market. I'm so silly.
If you've started scrolling TikTok at the beginning of the year, then you might recognize this furry friend.
I really like the churros.
Chilaquil, the 8-month-old golden retriever, living La Vida Loca in Mexico.
And I was like, Mama, por favor, can you carry me?
His mom, Karen Diaz, has been voicing over his day-to-day life to his more than 600,000 followers. Even though he's only fluent in English, you know he's picking up some Spanish from his mamita.
2 days ago, my mom was like, Chilacas, get ready because we're going to your favorite place. And I was like, yeah. A la casa de mis abuelitos.
Chilaquil was born in Toronto, which is where he met his parents, and later relocated to Mexico. But after settling into his new surroundings, he developed parvo, a highly contagious virus that affects young pups who are unvaccinated.
They would cry every single night because they didn't know if I would come home.
But Chilaquil overcame with the love of his parents and the cuddles from his abuelitos. Now he's a happy boy sharing his life in the endless cuddle we wish we could be a part of. I don't think Patrick Bateman thought this video of him walking into the office would go viral in 2023.
Dimples on my hips
TikTokers have been stitching Christian Bale's iconic character from American Psycho and inserting the music they blast when walking into work. From Beyonce's Coachella performance to the late Mexican-American singer Jenny Rivera to Taylor Swift. Seriously, whatever gets us through the day, it sure helped Patrick Bateman get through his. Ever in need of trying out new recipes? You can always look to our girl Emily for some tasty ideas. Emily's TikToks have garnered over 600 million likes, establishing herself as one of the platform's biggest stars. Her favorite dish, the microwave salmon ice rice dish mixed with sriracha, soy sauce, kimchi, all wrapped in seaweed. Her face says it all. But her biggest video yet was one right before Thanksgiving when she undercooked her pumpkin pie and received some raw reviews.
That was a little too jigglypuff for a pumpkin. We're gonna bake it again. We're gonna double bake it.
Emily hasn't addressed the controversy over the pie, but she sure seemed to enjoy it. And we wouldn't mind trying it. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Suzanne Marques. See you again next week on The Lot.